Hello, 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 hello. Happy Monday. Here for another Monday, here for another author spotlight. I had a time getting things together today. It's like, oh shoot. Okay, so if I'm out of breath, you guys just bear with me. I've been running back and forth just to make sure I start on time, to respect those that were looking for me at 4 o'clock. So if you guys are here, you are not trying to hear from me. You're trying to hear from our very special guest today, um, Miss Shonta Gibson. She's a woman I've never actually met, but she's so phenomenal. She is also an author, and so we actually connected through one of the authors that we have, one of her releases. She was a special guest, and so as I listened to her story, I just realized that I actually forgot her books. I actually have two of her books, but as I listened to her story, I'm like, man, I would love to just dive deeper into who you are, from a publisher standpoint and a sister author standpoint. So y'all forgive me because I'm when she come on, I'm gonna take my time and catch my breath. But I'm so excited. Y'all know these things get me so excited. So if this is your first time tuning in, you're tuning into our Monday author spotlights, where we basically shine the spotlight on a lovely author to allow them to tell their story, because we believe that books change lives. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring on Shonta Gibson, who is an author. I'm gonna say artist because she can sing. I don't know what she waiting on, but she can sing. She is a celebrity host. She has her own show on Roku and everything, and so she has a story to tell. She has something to pour into you today. So I'm gonna bring her up right now. Um, if you know, technology will be nice to me today. Yes, there we go. There we are. Y'all,
Hi.
hi Shantae. Y'all should have saw us backstage. Like, oh my God, where's the charger? Oh my God, where's this? Where's that? Like, oh my God. So we are here today. Shantae, I just want to thank you first of all for giving me your time today. It's always an honor. I
Definitely.
know you are busy, busy, busy. You're more busier than me. Like, and I know I'm busy. I'd be like, dang, she doing what? Like, I can't keep up. You are busy. You don't
Right.
play. Like, you don't play at all. So I understand that your time is very precious. I said it before when I just shared it. I'm like, I know this is going to be a part two. This is definitely not going to be the only interview that we do, because there are so many jewels in you. There's so much wisdom in you. There's
Aw.
so much in you. And I'm the type of person, like, I may not say a whole lot, but I stalk people. I do. I
Right.
look them up. I Google them. Anything that I can find on them on the. And first of all, if I can Google you, like, I'm like, dang, okay, who is this? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everything that is on the internet that has your name on it, I've seen it. So, um,
Wow.
and it is not watched from afar, and I see you, and so I just want to first of all give you your props, like, and then you're a mother at that, and so that takes a lot, and a wife. Let's never negate that, because that's a whole responsibility right there. And so for you to do the things that you do, on top of being a mother, on top of being a wife, um, I just commend you. So these are my virtual roses to you, on this show. I just first had to do that. You are just absolutely phenomenal. I admire you. I just want you to know. So, um,
Thank you so much. For real. Like,
you're welcome.
wow, I'm so humbled by that. I'm so humbled by your opening. My God.
You're
What a
welcome. You're
blessing.
welcome. Yeah, I don't say a lot. I'm very reserved. You probably see, like, I don't really, I'm really just, I keep a clean composure pretty much. Like, I don't really, but I watch, and everybody doesn't grab my attention, and so you definitely have. So I just wanted to just you
Wow.
know, to just say, just keep going. Like, definitely keep going. Don't ever stop. Because there's a lot of greatness in you. You know, and I see that. So just keep going.
Can I say that it's never easy?
Yes.
I want to start with that because when you see this polished face and polished look, by the time I get on here,
Yeah.
there is so much that has happened, before this point. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, my
Yeah.
day has been consumed with a lot of things. But I feel really blessed and grateful. I'm grateful for platforms like yours
Yeah.
that, spotlight, authors, and
Yeah.
you and I have done some business together, which has been
Yes.
always
Yes.
positive and
Yes.
amazing. I'm just so grateful for you in my life. From the standpoint of bringing some of your authors to me, from my magazines, and just we've been doing some exchange in business, regular exchange in business. So
Yeah.
you're amazing too. You're amazing too.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I see. I see the. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I just, some people you're just like, okay, I gotta click with that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't. And I think it's crazy because I really don't connect with. I don't. I network, but it's hard to sometimes find consistent people to network with. And this is a whole topic of itself. But it's it's hard
Right.
to find consistent people, to network with that are, clean cut. You know what I'm saying? That their heart is in it, and it's just, so you've shown that, and it's that's a whole nother topic. So I'm just gonna jump right in because I know we got some viewers coming on, and so I just want you to introduce yourself. I know your maiden name is Gibson, but you go by Shonta Gibson, but you are married, so it's Shonta Gibson Bell, correct?
Correct. I never actually changed my maiden name. I kept my
Okay.
I kept the maiden name Gibson, but I am married to Mr. Eddie Bell, my husband. We've been married for almost 7 years, and I kept my maiden name for the sake of my family lineage.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? The importance of staying connected to my lineage of my roots
Yeah.
of talent and things like
Yeah.
that. I knew that for some reason the name Gibson was going to eventually take its own course, if
Yes.
you know what I mean. And
Yes.
I knew when it was time, I was like, you know what? I'm not slighting the hand of my husband. I actually am still in love with him more than ever today.
Yeah.
But it was just
Yeah.
something powerful about keeping that name Gibson,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I knew that
So
that
let
was
me
going to
ask you this.
be
Let me ask you this, because this is why I love these interviews, because it's like you never know what's gonna come out of them. I'll go into the name, because I don't like to be all starstruck or whatever. But for anybody that doesn't know what's that related to, they'll figure it out by the end of, we'll disclose that. But for you, growing up with the name and growing up in the household that you grew up with and the family members that you have with that same name and the lineage that has, what does that mean to you? How does it feel just to know that your bloodline has exploded literally and been a game changer in these last
wow.
generations?
Right. Let me say this. It's like any dynamic that anyone has, sibling wise and parent wise. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't choose our family. You're kind of like, I
Right.
feel
Right.
you're put into a family situation by God. That's how I feel. That's my opinion.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so I feel as if growing up, it was like any other kid. You know what I mean? You have your brothers and sisters. You have your mom and dad. And
Yeah.
my dad eventually ended up moving out of the home because my parents separated and they divorced. Um,
Wow.
so there was not really, it was kind of like we were just kids growing up in
Yeah.
LA. And but I didn't really appreciate lineage and names and any of that until I became an adult and understood how important it
Yeah.
was to keep your connection to those to your name and your lineage. I didn't get it
Okay.
until later, basically. Growing up, it was
Okay.
like we was just kids. Hey, um, that's my brothers, that's my sister, because it was my mom had
Yeah.
four of us. She had four children,
Right.
and
And you're the oldest, right?
only one of my, huh?
You're the oldest.
I am the second to the oldest. I have an older
Okay.
sister.
Okay. Okay.
So let me break it down. I have my sister Solandra,
Okay.
myself, I'm second. Then my brother Tyrone.
Okay.
He's the junior of the family. He's my dad's firstborn
Okay.
son.
Okay.
And then we have Tyrese Gibson, my little brother. He is my baby brother, but he's also,
Wow.
you guys know him as actor, singer,
Yeah.
Tyrese Gibson. So, um, like I said, it was like interesting because growing up, it was just like we just siblings and we're, doing the normal, typical things that kids do. You're
Yeah.
cutting up, you're
Yeah.
getting on your parents' nerves and the whole nine. Like it's no
Yeah.
different than anyone else would, experience.
Yeah.
But as I got older and got into this field of work, in the entertainment industry, now I really, really understand
Yeah.
the importance of lineage and connection and how important it is to, have your roots tied
Right.
together. And I'm grateful that I kept my name for the sake of, you know, becoming an author
Yeah.
and becoming all of these things that I later on ended up, getting into career wise.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that I kept that name and people are familiar with that name.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't even have my own name. I'm Tyrese's sister. A lot of times that's my name. That's my
So
name. Like
how
seriously.
so how is that? And that's one of the reasons, and if you'll notice, Justin says Queen G rocks. She does. I would totally
Thank
agree.
you.
Um, um,
I love Justin. Justin is my buddy.
well, thanks, Justin, for tuning in. And I know anybody that you're connected with has always been good vibes. So that's what's up. But how is it? Because over the last year, I remember when we met, which was so phenomenal. It was like it was like we known each other like forever.
Right.
But when we met, it was like, you told me, you was like, this is really what I'm known by. So you like, if you want to, say that, then say it. But I guess for me, it's like, well, I don't want to just, cause you're Shantae. Like Shantae has done some
Right.
amazing things. So I don't want to, you know, put you in the shadow of a name, because his own brand and his entity is absolute. Like I love me some Tyrese, baby boy, shooter wop, Coca-Cola. Like when I say I love me some Tyrese. He was like the only
Right.
dark skinned dude that I actually like because I didn't like dark skinned guys. So like I like Tyrese,
You're so
but
funny.
meeting and my husband is dark skinned. How about that? Like I never liked dark skin, but anyway, um, um, I didn't want to put that. I wanted to know, and that's why I say I stopped. And even when even when I realized when you shared that, like on the first live that we did together, I was like, I know this is not. And I went to Google it. I was like, that is. That's
Right.
her. Like, that's
Yeah.
her. And I'm just like, oh my God, how amazing, though, for you to have had um, this platform and, you know, not this shadow limelight, but you literally blazed your own trail in this industry. Like, you literally did that. And, because I don't know the measures of how long you've been in the industry and how who knows you where and where. I just know like you have done like a phenomenal, and I've seen the handwork, like I've seen that, so how did you, like, how did that, chronologically, how did that happen? Like, was it like a thing where Tyrese, his career took off and then it was like you know you entered the entertainment realm, or was like you already there and then that, like, how did that
Um,
even merge?
I started out as an entertainer in my early 20s. And back then, way back then, my first lane that I entered into was talent management. I managed a group named Remix
Wow.
that many eons ago. And what happened
Wow.
was I was married to another gentleman at that time, and him and I went into the journalistic lane by creating our own magazine. It was an independent, yeah, it was an independent. We had a magazine 20 some years ago, and it was
Wow.
for entertainment entrepreneurs. So back that many years ago, I was the editor in chief of this magazine called 77 Magazine. And we had people like Taraji Henson back then on the cover. We had
Wow.
Cat Williams in our magazine. You know, the bailiff on Judge
Yeah.
Judy, the guy that stands next to her. I
Yeah.
interviewed him
Yeah.
years ago, and we were on the set of Judge Judy. Afion Crockett was one of my interviews. Who else? You know, the kid in Love and Basketball, Glendon. I interviewed him back then. The kid, and
Wow.
he's way grown now, but back then he was a kid. He was
Yeah.
like in that
Yeah.
movie Love and Basketball as the kid version of the actor. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So even back then we were out there, and we did the BET Awards, and we would go to the BET Awards every year.
Wow.
So our magazine was everywhere. It was a
Wow.
community magazine though, and it was newspaper print. It wasn't like glossy or anything like that. It was newspaper print.
Digital.
So we would
Yeah.
hit the right. Well, no, not even digital. It was real
Right.
magazine stuff. Like it
It
was
wasn't
real.
digital. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
No, not at all. They didn't have digital like they do now. They didn't have all
Yeah.
of that. It was more you either got out there and had them in your hand and you hit them different outlets or else. So we made this magazine free to the public, and we would have special locations so that every time it came out we would put them in those locations. Like KGLH in Los Angeles was one of our locations. We had little mom and pop shops, little, business,
Hmm.
self business owner situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would place them in those locations. So every time people would come in there, they started looking for it. Like, where is that little magazine at? Because it was thin and it was small, but I was editor in chief
Pat.
and I was interviewing all these people, and I did all the stories. I did every story in there. So that's how I got my start in journalism, the actual,
Yeah.
that aspect. And then I ended up years after that having my own entertainment business out in Westchester, California. And that is when I started casting. I was a casting director. And it was for major projects like music videos, sitcom shows. I see actors on TV today that were in my office like Kiki Haynes Bell, that's on For Better or For Worse. Christian Keys, that's in all the Tyler Perry circuit. He used to be in my office. All of these actors. Vincent M. Ward is another one that, I've known for
Wow.
over 20 years because he used to be in my office. And just so many actors. I even had Dub C. Dub C got cast for something, honey, and was in there. Rapper Dub C. He was in my office years ago.
Wow.
And it was
Wow.
like, wow. And we did what we did. I mean, you're in the middle of LA and you're in the middle of the
Yeah.
Hollywood scene. So seeing an actor wasn't so strange, or seeing
Yeah.
somebody famous, it was normal. It was normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And now, like, I've known some of these people a very long time now. Like, it's not
Wow.
like I'm just meeting, a lot of these celebrities, and we've grown up in the business together. I've seen
Yeah.
their careers grow and escalate to what it is now, and
Yeah.
go to the next level. Like Vincent M. Ward, honey, he is doing his thing now. Like he is out there, and I'm so proud of him because at the time,
Yeah.
when I was working in Hollywood, he was young in the business, had just been starting to get some momentum and traffic going. And look at him now. He is like major.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
Wow.
I'm like, wow.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I want you, and we're gonna get into the books, but I think, the history and the beginning of like an author's journey is important because a lot of your book really, it, like the Queen's G Media course, that was the first book that you launched that actually talked about like your history and entertainment. But I want to kind of take a different direction because I told you there are some people that are just in my heart, like they stick with me, and I have one of
Right.
them. She just commented. Like either way. She has a business called Either Book Productions, and Either and I have worked together. Remember the film project I told you about that we were working on? You and I, we
Yes.
talked, and I
Uh-huh.
told you, and we talked about the casting. This is the videographer. Ida is the videographer for that project. Pretty
Tell her
much
I
for
say
almost anything that
hello.
we do. She's watching now. So being that you have the experience, and just starting out. So how old were you when you started out in the industry?
That's a great question. I started out in my early 20s. When we first
Okay.
had 77 magazine, I was only about 21 years of age.
Wow.
Raw.
Okay. Wow.
Raw in the
So
business. By then, Tyrese's career had already been in full swing.
oh wow.
You know what I mean? Like we were already
Yeah.
adjusting to being in that around
A
entertainment because
celebrity
he had
family.
already been, yeah, he had already been like
Yeah.
5 or 6 years in the game by then. He started out at 16. Um,
Dang.
16 years of age was his first break into the industry. So by the time I hit 21, him and I are about 4 or 5 years apart. By the time I hit the industry, he had already been, I think, on MTV already by then or something. He was already out there. Like
Yeah.
Taraji, I got that interview because I went to his premiere and I met her at the premiere and I walked up to her
Oh
and asked
wow.
her for her booking information to get an interview. And she gave me her agent's number and I got the interview that way. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Wow.
So,
So I wanted
it
to ask, what I wanted to ask was, what would you give someone like an Ida, like myself, that are like brand new? We see the visions for these things. Ida has bomb talent. She's telling me to stop, but like Ida has bomb talent. Like I'm telling you, like if you've seen the Call to Purity short film that we did, she did that. Like, and I did it. We did
wow.
that within 8 hours on a Sunday in a hotel. Like she has bomb talent. What would you tell, or what gem would you give? And it doesn't have to be long and drawn out because I know we got other stuff to talk about. But what gem would you give to someone having your background and then seeing someone that has the talent and has the vision, to do more in the entertainment industry, in these days and times?
I would
Like
say
gems,
that there's no perfect way to
Mm.
do a project. There's no perfect route. We can
Wow.
seek advice from others and we can even look up tutorials and we can do all these things, right? But there's no certain way to achieve what you're going to achieve. And I would say to you, your vision is your vision, honestly. Your vision is yours. So don't ever second guess what your heart is feeling. Don't second guess that part. Like if your heart is leading you in a certain direction, then you have to stay true to that. Um, and I say that because I get attacked all the time. Like you'd be surprised. As sweet as I am, humble as I am, I get attacked all the time for having a certain
Yeah.
vision about something, for having a certain thing that God gave me to do.
Yeah.
And it's like I have to stay true to my heart and what
Yeah.
I am hearing, not
Yeah.
follow the path of what others are saying, because it never works like that. When I
It
decide to
never.
follow them, it never works. I have to follow my heart, like seriously.
Yeah.
Um, and that is how I win every time. People are like, "How are you so successful?" Well, it's because in all of these situations, I followed my heart. I followed the voice that I
Wow.
was hearing on the inside. Even though it seems weird, like sometimes it seems weird, like God was at you, you know, you look around, like God was at you talking to me. But
Right.
see, the way you know it, God gives you that vision, but he also gives you signs of it. He gives you signs that it is him by way of some of the things that are going on around you. And that is
Yeah.
how you know.
Yeah. Wow. That's
So
amazing.
all the years you would ask me, how has it been? Like, it's
Yeah.
because of that. I follow my heart. And even when it seems a little touchy, or it may not seem to flow with other people's thought process of how they see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to go with your heart. You got to go with your heart. And there's no perfect way to write a movie. They have formats and stuff like that. I know. Come on now. When you submit it to the big time people, of course, it has to be formatted. It has to be
Yeah.
in the proper, written in the proper way and done appropriately, yes. But just write that vision down, honey. Get it out of you. Get it out of you. That's the most
Get it
important. Get
out.
it out of you.
Wow.
Get it out of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. She said that's definitely her problem. She wants things to be perfect before she moves. And when
No,
I say like, yeah, it's that
it's
can
not
very
going
that
to
can be
be.
stagnating.
And a lot of times it doesn't complete until after you get it out of you and begin the process. Once you take those steps, everything else begins to add to the situation. You ever heard of faith without works is dead? That's one of the statements I live by. Faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of faith
Yeah.
to step out and do something you've never done before. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two,
Yeah.
that it's untapped territory. In other words,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
times we do things that is untapped territory. You don't really know if that is the way that everybody else has done it and this and that. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, your heart never leads you wrong. Your heart is the determining factor on, or the gauge that you need. That's
Yeah.
all you need, to determine whether it's for you to do that
Yeah.
situation or not. Once you follow your heart and begin to take the steps that your heart is leading you, then everything else will add to the equation. You understand?
Wow.
But you got to step out first. You got to step out first.
Yeah. Yeah. She said the
So,
limitations of people have definitely hindered me, and so I made up my mind and heart to do what God told me and wrote all of my ideas down. So I definitely think that that
yes,
is a word, that's wisdom, and I thank you for that, Jewel, because I think that's with anything, we have been, stagnant. When I say the vision is written and this and I mean, like she'll
yes,
tell you, like we're going on. I think this is what probably year 3, where we're just like, okay, we got to get this out, we got to get this done. But we've never seen anybody, produce a film, a film in Greenville, Mississippi. Like we're thinking like Netflix and Amazon's, and like the vision is so vast, and sometimes you can miss, your whole blessings just waiting, on approval, or waiting on those things to every little thing to get right. So I appreciate that. Like it almost made me emotional. I'm like, okay, I didn't know it was going
oh
to hit so
yeah.
hard.
Oh, and I have. I mean, come on now. You got my personal phone number. I have outlets that once you've shot your project and edited it down, there are outlets that you can upload it directly to Roku and all these, bigger markets that people tune into. That's worldwide. We got the access to get in
Yeah,
there. Of course, there's a cost to things, but
yeah,
when you
yeah,
have access to and that direct connect, it's like
yeah,
it's a little different. It's a little different.
yeah,
There's some angles that can be worked around. And I'm not going to say manipulate it necessarily, but there are some angles that could be tweaked because you
Yeah.
have that direct inside track. And you know that, girl. Call me anytime and let's discuss uh, that part of it. You know, when you get to that point.
Just get it done.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Like just get it done.
It's.
Just get it done. So
Hmm.
that's a word. That's a word for me. That's a word for you, Ida. That's a word for anybody else that's watching. Just get it done. And that's one of the reasons I've been so excited to interview you, because for a person who does so much, you have to have some form of wisdom in you to be an encouragement to somebody else. Because I don't know where
Right.
you get it from. Of course, I know God is a source, but I just admire the way
God.
that you keep going. Like you keep going. And I'm looking up and it's like Roku, and I'm looking up and it's like a whole team, and I'm looking up and it's like Shantae's doing something else, and Shantae's interviewing something else, and Shantae is doing this, and I'm telling you, I'm like, I can't keep up. Shantae has
Oh.
another book out.
Yeah,
So
I spent all of last year writing. Like before the pandemic hit, I was already in isolation. Um God was pouring into me vision of different things. And you know what I discovered, which is very interesting. When I was writing, I thought it was a certain way, right? I thought it was a certain way that you write
yeah,
books or whatever. But as I
yeah.
began to write, my chapters were all out of order. Like I didn't write in order. So
No,
interesting. Because I thought you write chapter one, you write chapter two, you write chapter
no,
three. No,
no,
I
no.
wrote chapter 15, then came back and wrote one, and then seven, and then
Yep.
at the end of the whole project, you put it all
Yeah.
together. And another thing, this was my I have over 14 books in this phone.
Device. Mm.
Yeah. This was
Just like
my
that. So
way
it's no
to
excuse.
that
I
was
think what I
that
get
was
from
my
you from
way that I
seeing you,
wrote.
all of your books. And that's another thing that I get from just watching you. There's no excuse. And I love that about you, because it doesn't matter that it doesn't even it's like you're just gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like limitations do not seem to exist in your realm. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Wow.
no, like it's going to get done. And it could just be something that I perceive, but that's that when I watch you, that's the aura that I get from you. Like limitations don't exist. They really
Can
can.
I
They
say
don't.
this? One of the most crippling things that can stall us or stifle us from moving forward is our own thoughts, number one. Um, Number two is you allow everything that's around you to distract you too, as well. That's another thing. We gotta kind of block out some of the wasted distractions. I'm not saying you
Wow.
got a kid, you got a husband. Come on, those are normal. Those are normal things that you
Yeah.
got to deal with day to
Yeah.
day. There's no
Yeah.
way to get rid of your family and send them outside while you write, right? There's no way to do that. But there are things that we allow on our plate and on our schedule where it distracts us. And a lot of delays in people's lives and things like that is the stuff that they allow on their schedule that don't necessarily have to be on it. You do have to make a sacrifice. You got to make a serious sacrifice
Wow.
when you do it. Oh, yeah. It is not a game. Like, you got to want it. You got to breathe, live, eat, sleep this. You know what I mean? You got to be that one that you're not going to let anything or anybody get to and distract you from your destiny. And that takes out, you got to put on some blinders. You know what I mean? And
Blinders.
you have to be complete.
Tunnel
You
vision.
heard about tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is very
Tunnel
serious.
vision.
And the
Yeah.
reason I got my hands up right here is because somebody could be yelling in my
Mhm.
ear, Shonta, Shonta, Shonta. They could be saying anything, but I'm here. I'm here. You understand? And that's kind of the thing that I have adopted in order to really lock this down. And it's a mentality, it's a mindset. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
mindset, sis. Oh my
Wow.
God. Like, do you know how many people
Wow.
have tried to really, really, really get in the way and block me from my blessings, or try to get in the way and do so many manipulative things,
Yeah.
using my also platforms to try to get ahead, and then when they get in my circle, they stump on me. It's been a lot of that. It's been a lot of that. We all deal with that. It don't matter what level you on. But we got to stay here.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
We
I
got to
thought that
stay
that was
here. There's no
just
excuse.
a Greenville thing. I thought maybe that was just
No,
my hometown thing because I've seen that, of course, but wow.
no, I just moved
Okay.
from Vegas too. I just moved from Las
Yeah.
Vegas, where it was really
Yeah.
bad. That crab in a bucket mentality was really horrific. It was terrible, but I stayed focused. That is how I met the Teddy Rileys and the Keith Washingtons, and the people that knew my focus. They would present projects to me because they
Yeah.
knew I was serious about my craft. So it's like
Mm.
God chooses you in the middle of all of that craziness because you are prepared for it, or you're ready for it. And that's, remember I was saying, he adds what you
Yeah.
need because you're
Yeah.
there mentally. You're stepping out, in these lanes, and he adds
Yeah.
everything that's needed because you're ready for it. Um
Mm. Mm-mm.
So my homeboy, I'm gonna bring him up on here. My boy Christopher Mills, he introduced so many
Hmm.
celebrities to me. Like every door he walked in, he had a
Wow.
celebrity behind him, like following him, like kids. Like, how do you know them too? It was crazy. And he see, it wasn't the fact that he had celebrity friends, because if they have celebrity friends, they don't necessarily trust you with their friends because they're not trying to destroy their relationship, right? But he knew he could trust me to take care of his celebrity
Yeah.
friends, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
use them or abuse them or try
Yeah.
to manipulate anything, and that I cherished what he brought to the table. So
Yeah.
another key to success is you have to have really solid relationships,
Mm.
okay? And trust.
Wow.
They have to
Yeah.
trust you, and you have to trust them.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. And when they call on you, be there. When you get called on, be there.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
hesitate, because there are certain people in your life that you're gonna drop everything for, because they have been resourceful. They have brought and added to your table. He brought me Bushwick Bill. Come
Wow.
on, that was one of my most powerful, legendary interviews that I've done to date. Bushwick Bill was,
Wow.
I interviewed him and Spice One on the same segment. That was insane. Uh-oh, did it pause? Hey,
Spike Lee.
no, Spice
Spike
One.
Lee.
Spice One.
Oh, Spice
Spice
One.
One.
It was kind of going out. I was like, okay, what? Okay. Spice One.
No, it
And
was Bushwick Bill and
there's a
Spice One on the same segment.
okay, okay, okay. And I know that these are like some huge names. There is a age a age gap here. So a lot of names is just like, okay, if you're calling them out, I know they must be something, but I don't know.
Right. And plus
It's the generation
I
gap
didn't
right
really
there.
know, I didn't really know the hip hop world either myself. They are iconic hip hop legends.
Yeah.
So they came up in the era with all
Okay. Okay.
the early rappers like Snoop Dogg and all them. They came up in that era. So
Okay. Oh wow.
you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
and
Okay.
another thing, my technique, and I want to give this exclusive on your platform, especially. My technique is I
Okay.
look them up for the sake of, I Google my subjects for the sake of making sure that I know or have knowledge of them. But my technique is, when they sit in the chair, I base it off of their vibe.
Mm, okay. Okay. Okay.
So that's interesting, right? Like
Gotcha.
I pretty much
Gotcha.
interview a
Yeah.
person based on the moment.
Yeah.
It's we're in the
The
moment.
moment.
It's a lot of times
Yeah.
we don't even deal with history or whatever. If they want to talk about that, that's fine. But we talk about
Yeah.
current moments, right there, right then,
Wow.
right now.
And it's crazy because I feel like that's
So,
kind of what we're doing. Like we haven't even tapped into the book or none of the books, and I try
right,
to keep these short. So it's like now I'm like, well, dang, we are a whole 40 minutes in, but these are jewels. Tony Chevelle has just graced the interview. So she just said hello.
hi
Ida
Tony.
said, same for her interviews flows naturally. And that's what I really feel like this interview is really flowing naturally. And I'm like, I already knew, like, we just gonna have to do it again. Like I knew it before we even hit, because I'm like, it's so much. I feel like there's so much um in what we do. And so I'm gonna briefly just switch over, and because I want you
Okay,
to introduce your books and talk about your books, but I don't want to. I try to keep them at least 45 minutes to an hour. So it's just but I know, like, we got to come back. We might have to come back and just do like an interview on one particular book and then another particular book
right,
or something like that, because there is so much depthness to you. And so, but I didn't see this interview going this way, but I love the jewels that you've given us, because this is a platform that wants to birth dreams, and that's one of the reasons why it is what it is. We do the author spotlight, we do the music spotlight, we do these different things because we genuinely have a desire for people to birth their dreams, um, a midwife, as you would say, and so it's important to us that
right,
we're able to offer. Like, I can honestly say, and I'm pretty sure Ida and Tony Chevelle and anybody else that'll watch this, they'll be able to say that you have inspired them in at least one way. And if
uh-huh.
as long as that happens, I feel like then purpose has been, made. But I do want you to talk about your books and just introduce, your title to us, and where we can find them. I'll put them in the chat in the link.
Okay,
But
no
I
problem.
do want you to do that.
My title, Queen G Media Course, The Journey. This is about my entertainment life from a media standpoint. I don't deal with my whole entire entertainment life, but just from the media angle. That's what this book
Okay.
is about. And I have moments with Teddy Riley in there, Bushwick Bill, um, Mr. John of Truth, all of my Taraji Henson, all those moments. I was on the Oprah Winfrey Show, so I talk about that in this book. And
You
I'll
on
send you that
Oprah?
video after this. I was on Oprah Winfrey Show. I'll send you the video. It's on YouTube actually. It's on
Oh
YouTube.
wow, I missed
Um,
that one.
yeah.
I
So
missed that one.
SWV, Salt and Pepper,
Wow.
all of those are in here in this book. And then I have a book called Get Back Up Again. That is about my me being homeless. I was homeless from 2016 to 2018. It's called Get Back Up Again. And it talks about what happened in my life and how my life took a whole nother course. Um, and then I wrote my first children's book called Dolly Mix Up, about a little girl who trades lies with her baby doll. That concept was from my daughter herself. That was from my daughter. She gave me the concept, and I just wrote the book. And then we wrote another one called My Pet Penguin. Then another one called oh my God.
You have My Uncle Is
It's so
Famous.
many.
That's your
It's so
son's
many
book.
books.
My Uncle Is Famous.
Yeah, my
You know,
uncle
your
is
son has My
famous.
Uncle Is Famous.
Yes, yes. Majestic Mermaid, about a
Yeah.
little girl who meets a mermaid, and they both solve the homeless crisis in Los Angeles. So it's a mystical
Wow.
type of book, but it's really, really good. Um, Also, my unicorn cake. That one is so good, so much fun. These are all children's books. I wrote 6 total children's books, 2 co-written projects with other authors, and then I have my books. I have 6 autobiographies,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
series. It's a series. You know how they say the keys to success?
Hmm.
I did all the alphabets that rhyme with keys. So like C's to success, D's, Z's, the letters
Yeah.
that rhyme with keys. Yeah, and they're all on Amazon. All of those books are all on Amazon. And I also personally sell them if people want to get a personal signed autograph copy. I also have them available as well here, you
Okay.
know, at my base. So
Do
that
you have
author's journey.
how would they, for those that want to purchase, what, because I'm gonna put your information on here, so I'm trying to see, do you have a cash app that would, like, how would they purchase your books if
Yes,
they were just
the Cash
purchasing
App
from
is
you?
yes, the Cash App is the Cash App symbol, capital L, capital G, capital E,
Okay.
capital N, and the word films in lowercase. So
Okay.
Elgin Films, LGEN Films, but it's the first are caps and then the word films is lowercase.
Okay.
I'm gonna send
So
it to you in Messenger so you can have it that way
I can.
too.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just posted that, and I'm about to post the Amazon link as well. Um, just because, like I said, I believe, I love books. I love what you and your kids have done. And they, oh my goodness, they have done some amazing things. Their commercials and their interviews, and so it's just kind of like you see that they're following in the, like you said, like you're leaving an inheritance, and I love the confidence that they have with understanding like who they are, and what they can do. Because one thing about when you are limitless, you raise kids that are limitless as well. You know what I'm saying? So you raise kids
Right.
that
They now
literally
have
don't. Yeah.
they got their own Roku channel. They are something else. Like we are creating beasts, little beasts. Yeah.
But
And
that is amazing, and that is really amazing. I like that. Let me make sure the link that I have on here. So all of these are on here, and I posted your Cash App information, and I'm posting the Amazon information as well.
thank you so
So
much for that
you are
love and
welcome.
that support. I appreciate it so much because it's not easy as an author. I do so many
No,
things that
no.
it's not easy as an author. That part you gotta hustle that. You gotta hustle the author side of things.
Yeah, you gotta know. And I had just my author tip for today. I had just mentioned like you gotta plan to sell. You have to, and I'm learning this, and especially having a publishing company, it's one of those things where it's like, oh shoots, like when I publish this book, that's not the all, that's not it. And so we've recently,
Right.
created these packages where, we do the author interviews and place them in, different platforms like your magazine and stuff like that. Because now I'm seeing, okay, I need to market my clients because they don't know this, and they probably don't have the time
Right.
to do this. I'm supposed to be the expert in this, so I gotta study. I gotta study, and I gotta make sure that I connect with the right people that I can market their books through. And so I just appreciate that,
Right.
that collaboration with you, where you're okay with that and you see that, because
Oh
um,
yeah.
it's different. It's way different. What has, because you have, and I'm wrapping up, but you have so much experience, but the author lane is new to you. So what's the thing that's been most profound for you being an author? And just congratulations again, because you, not only
Thank
are you a new
you.
author, you published all of these books within the span of a year. I know people that
Yeah.
have been sitting on one book for 10 years. So you don't
Right.
understand, like, this is major. This is really, really major. So don't ever
Yes,
underestimate
I
like
wrote
what you're doing.
14. I wrote 14 total books in 1 year. And like I said, the tunnel vision, it took a lot of focus to do that.
Yeah.
We ended the year with my
Yeah.
last book called My Clothes Won't Get on Me. That can I tell
Oh,
you just a
wow.
little bit about
Wow.
that? I want to tell you a little bit about
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for us as parents, we struggle in the mornings to get our kids up
Yeah.
and out the door, right? It's a struggle. So, you may deal with attitude, somebody lagging, dragging, they don't want to brush
Yeah.
their teeth, comb their hair. It's like you're dealing with all of that. So I
Yeah.
wrote a book because one time my daughter, we did everything to try to get her motivated to get up and get ready for school. She still refused to get up. She came out of her bed and then came and laid in my bed. She got her clothes ready and put them at the end of her foot. And I was like, Heaven, you got to put your clothes on. She was like, Mom, my clothes won't get on me. So that's the title of the book. And it
They won't
starts
get
with
on
her,
her.
right, it starts with her dad alarm clock going off, and he's the bad example that sets the tone for the entire house because he avoids his alarm every morning. It's like you can't expect them to get up if you're up here laying up still.
Yeah.
So that's the book we just published and put on Kindle. It's
Wow.
hilarious.
Wow.
So hilarious. It's kind of like a
That is.
comedy,
Yeah.
but it's based around the 50,000 ways of trying to get them motivated to get out of here in the mornings for school, and just
Wow.
we do everything to try to get them,
That is amazing. And it's so relatable. Like it's so relatable.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to have the
I'm telling you,
tools.
if you're a parent, you deal with that. You've dealt with some level of something
Some
that
level
is
of
in
that.
that
And
book.
I can definitely relate. Um I can definitely relate. And that's 14 in a year. Like I said, I've worked with clients, who, I mean, literally, like it has been tough just getting books out. Even myself, like not bump the clients. Like I can't tell you, like the Strange Woman. I just released that in November. That book was supposed to been out like a year and a half before that. So for you to produce, like mega produce the way that you have, that's a huge thing. And so knowing now what
It's
as far
God,
as the marketing and the thing like that, I know.
it's God and
Hmm?
my team. I have a really, really amazing team. My graphic designer has been with me 2 years because I don't know that
Hmm.
lane of graphics. I don't know the lane of laying out something or doing,
Yeah.
putting it in the format that it needs to go in to be a book. I don't know those lanes. All
Yeah.
I know is writing. So you
Yeah.
you have to have a team that believes in you, that will, when you say let's go, they are ready to go. And
Mm.
that's how I accomplished that. It was God, me, and my team too. My team, I can't leave them out. There's no way I can leave them out. My graphic designer, Paperboy, who he's done all my books and he does all my magazines.
Mm.
So
Wow.
kudos to him.
Yeah.
He's an amazing
He
like
does good
designer. He
work.
knows how to do
The artwork
flyers
on those,
well.
yeah. Yeah. And I know, like I've seen the if you look at, for y'all that's watching or listening, if you look at like the cover arts, you can see like it pops out, it stands out. It's like, all of those covers, like they really pop, especially I love the kid books. I love the covers on the kid books. They really, it's really eye catchy. And so
Right. He did
that's
the
pretty good.
unicorn doing dab
Yeah.
on my
Yeah.
unicorn cake.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did that. I was like, wow. My pet penguin, all the
Yeah.
graphics. He did it all. Like I can't even try to take that credit because it was my team member who did all of that and just, was amazing. He's been amazing.
That is amazing. One of the things, and that's the last question. With being an author, what is the most, not difficult, but what's the most profound thing in being an author as it relates to the experience that you have in the industry, in journalism, and everything like that? Like, how is being an author like different from everything else that you've actually done?
It's very different. It's very different. And okay, I'm gonna say it in this way. Most of my journalistic interviews and stuff like that, you ask a question like, I got a chance to interview my brother at the end of the year, at the end of
Hmm.
last year.
Yes.
and you ask them a question like, so Tyrese, what is it like being on your level or whatever? You'll ask him that question, and then he'll answer with a
Yeah.
response, right? So when you write
Yes.
that on a paper, it's like you write the question and then you write the answer. That's
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
Book writing is more of a flow that's coming, from your mind and from your
Mm.
heart. It's more of a,
Hmm.
I don't know, it's just way different. It's completely different. But I've always been a writer, so what I loved about writing is,
Right.
is being able to express whatever was on my heart and mind and just flowing with it and just letting it out, just
Yes.
letting it go,
Yes.
letting
Yes.
it go.
Yes.
No, I didn't have to take no breaks. I could just get lost in my imagination and
Yes.
just, go wild. Like C's to success, you got to really think about the C words that tie to success. Communication. C is for Christ. C is for
Right.
children, my children. You know what I mean? You got to think about those concepts. So it was amazing being creative and coming up with those different concepts to be able to write on the page. You know what I mean? And letting it go, just
Wow.
expressing myself and just being creative. It was just so much fun. It's so much fun.
Wow. She said so much fun. It is. I love it. I love writing. The only thing I love probably more than writing from a hobby point of view is reading. So, you know.
Right. Right. Now get back up again. That story was a different result.
Yeah.
That the whole month of December, it took me 30 days to write that book. I was crying. I felt like I was reliving my homelessness all over again. I felt like I was in mourning every day.
Yeah.
The nightmare of homelessness I had to replay all over again. You know what I'm saying? And we had just been out of it only a year or so when I started writing. So it wasn't like it was that long ago where
Yeah.
I didn't remember the accounts of
Yeah.
what took place. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was fresh. It was fresh. So it was things that I had to do to really, really, it was emotionally draining and really
Wow.
trying and rough. And certain music would bring the mood that I needed to really get it out of me and let the
Mm.
words pour out. And then it was times where I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to talk about it. It was so emotionally draining to replay moments of sleeping outdoors or in our truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that one right there was tough. That was one of my most challenging books because I cried almost for 30 days straight. Just
Wow.
reliving. And when people read it, they read it quick because I guess they're reading it how I emotionally wrote it. You know what I
Pour it
mean?
out. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
not taking them that long to get through it. My mom, when she told me she wrote it, she read it, and she read it quickly. I was like, you? She was like, yeah,
Mm.
she said, this was deep
Yeah.
and
It's
sad.
deep.
And I knew you were going through it because you even came to my house to take showers and stuff, but I didn't know you went through this.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it was,
I tell you what, and because within the two, I know that I remember I remember when you told me how you even got the title of the book, and I don't even want you to go into that now. I don't even want you to go into that now because what I want to do, the next interview that we do, I want to talk
mm-hmm.
exclusively about that book. And by then,
Okay.
I would have been ready by then as well. So,
Okay. Okay.
I want to talk exclusively about that book in our next interview, which we'll talk and go ahead and schedule that because I can't relate to the entire level, but I can relate, on some levels. And it's something. It's just the encouragement. And in this season where we know that a lot of people are, probably going through, probably maybe facing the same thing. I just know that you have so much in you. I know that you had so much in you. And like Ida said, tag her when we do. So I would definitely, we'll get together
Aww.
after this, and see when we'll do the next interview, and it'll just be exclusively on just get
Okay.
back up again. And because
Right.
I feel like God took you through a wilderness experience to now raise you up and walk you into your promised land. And like I said, I watch you. I may not say a whole lot, I may not share a whole lot, I may not, but I watch. The one thing I do is, I watch it. So when I decide that someone is worth me reaching out to, that means that there's a level of trust that I have, based on, what I've been given, seeing them. And so you
Right.
definitely, give me those vibes, and even meeting you and, everything like that. And I don't know, while we probably could just schedule to do a interview together in the same space instead of on the dog media,
Right.
social
We live
media.
in the same
Um,
city. Right. That's
so
so
we'll
true. That's
definitely
so true.
crazy, but we will. I want to go ahead and end this interview. If you're an author, if you like to read, or if this interview has inspired you, please get with Shantae. You can find her on social media at Queen G Live Experience, right?
Yes, that's the name. I have a my own podcast, very very authentic podcast.
Yes.
Straight to the hip type of podcast. It's on the platform on Facebook, Queen G Live Experience. But you also can find me all over social media on their Instagram, on Roku now, on a show called MJ. I mean, on a platform called MJ on Network. I have live, authentic interviews in person on that platform, and I'm Queen G Live Experience all over social media.
So
So
if you're trying to connect with her, just want to follow her, follow the stuff that she's doing, which is completely amazing. Her children, Queen G Live Experience. I place the
thank you.
information. If you're interested in her books, I place. You can just look up Shonta Gibson on Amazon. Shonta Gibson books on Amazon. And of course, you can Google her, Shonta Gibson or Queen G Live Experience. But please do connect with her if you are an author and you're interested in booking your own interview to come on and give whatever inspiration or whatever it is that you have and just discuss your book. Then you can book that at witnesslegend.com/Zoe Life CCP. Witnesslegend.com/Zoe Life CCP. And so I'm gonna put that in the comments too. I didn't think about that. But any last words? I know we've given, the how they can find you and find your books and everything like that. But any last words before we end?
Sure. I want to leave this note with everybody. This is just the words of wisdom a nugget I've been dropping on everybody. Teamwork makes the dream work, but two people on the same page make the dream come alive.
Ooh.
There's a different
Okay.
level. Okay. So
Okay.
we always hear the cliche statement, teamwork makes the dream work. It does. But
Mm,
people on the same page make it come alive. It brings life
mm.
to the
Yeah.
situation.
Wow.
So
I
that's
get
my
that.
closing statement I want to leave with
I get that.
everybody.
I get that. That's so funny because it's like you can have a team, but sometimes all you need is two people, and yet
Right.
to man, that's heavy. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, that's it. Laida says, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. I surely appreciate it. I know those
Definitely.
that come back and watch the replay are going to appreciate it. I know it's going to be seen um, plentifully by your audience. And so, thank you. We definitely got to schedule the next one. And until next time, you guys, next week will actually be, if you're watching live, next week we'll be interviewing upcoming guest, Sheila Pearson. And so, if you're watching the replay, then all of our interviews can be found on our YouTube. And so you can look us up on YouTube, Zoe Life CCP. So just wanted to throw that out there. Didn't want to forget anything. But until next time, you guys, I love you. Make sure that you are speaking life and living life. All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
good Monday. You're welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Trying to end the broadcast.